stock market collapse, complete bleed out. Everybody's in panic, everything is crazy. And even though I'm traveling, I literally just landed and I just got to the hotel, I have to bring you this show because I want to give you my thoughts. I want to reassure you, and I want to tell you how lucky you are. And I know it might sound crazy now, and you might think, what am I even talking about? Everything is bleeding. But I want you to think that you get 4 or 5 of these opportunities in your entire lifetime. And I know it's difficult, but these are the moments when generational wealth is made. And I know a lot of you are thinking, but I don't get cash and whatever. I want to give you this show. I want to give you my thoughts on the market. I want to give you my idea on how this will play out and how we can extremely benefit if you don't screw this up. So if that sounds good, guys, I'm truly happy that you're here. Again, I just landed, so I'm just literally recording it about an hour before it goes live. My internet is not good, so I can't go live to you. That's why it's a pre-record. But if you like this content and you appreciate that I didn't even shower, I didn't even anything, straight from the airport here, please smash and obliterate the like button. Let me know in the comment section if you're here. I'm going to read through on the live chat as well. So let's that pop in and let's get going. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Fefe, and I'm the guy that brings you trades like this and a bunch of cool stuff, keeps you updated on the market, and much more. So let's get going. Well, number one, the world's 500 richest people lost 500 billion this week. So I posted this in the newsroom here, and I said we have this newsroom here on the Banter Bubbles, and I said, you know, if you think you have it bad, think about these guys. Now, obviously, they are billionaires still. One, Warren Buffett, I'm gonna give it to him. Like, he's an absolute Chad, bro. Up 12 billion. I mean, he's an absolute Chad, but anyway, he's sold on the very top. But the thing is that everybody's down. The market is completely melting. There's almost $1 billion that's been liquidated only in crypto the past 24 hours. The Nikkei is down. There is circuit breakers happening, which means that if the market drops a certain percentage, it's between 7 and 10 to 15% from the previous day's close. They have these circuit breakers that basically stops the trading for like 15 minutes, so people can have a clear mind and they can limit also the massive panic selling, or if that happens. Crude oil is down, plunges below 60 for the first time in 4 years. We've got China. The Chinese stock market closes below down 12%, the worst day since October 2008, the financial crisis. Germany's DAX index falls 10%. Hong Kong stock market down 13%, the biggest one since 1997. I can bring you all these and you can look through all these, but probably everybody already talked about them. And unfortunately, that's what the feed is all about. But Hong Kong down 13%, Taiwan 9%, Japan 9%, Italy 8%, Singapore 8%, Sweden 7%. Absolutely crazy. And as Friday I discussed on the show, I had a show on how this Chinese retaliation, which actually was the show was titled "Did China Just Kill the Crypto Bottom?" This is what the show was here on Friday. If you were here, I salute you. If you weren't, you know what to do. Subscribe and come back every single day, because on that show I told you that because China retaliated, the bottom is most likely cancelled, because this became a full-blown trade war. It's not just a question whether Trump does this and then countries might respond. It became a full trade war. So it started with that, and then we've got Europe coming forward, and they are planning to implement, for example, a $28 billion retaliation tariffs on the US goods. And there is a bunch of other countries that are stepping up against Trump. Now, what is interesting is there are a bunch of other countries that are not stepping up, and they already are working on a solution. So if you look at more 50 countries, this is actually that just came in recently, more than 50 countries have already reached out to President Trump, begin negotiations about the tariffs. Now, Japan's prime minister already reached out. He's ready to negotiate. Taiwan stands in, ready to negotiate. And what is very important in all this is that Trump is not going to let it slip. He's not going to, if anybody thinks, and I read these crazy things on my timeline, oh, Trump is going to step down. I'll guarantee you, the orange man never steps down. We got to go this through. We got to protect America. We're going to make sure that is what's going to happen. He's not going to say, oh, you know what, actually I was just joking, just let's start again. No, he's going to go through with, and as he said as well on Air Force One, he gave a short interview, and he said that the tariff will not go away for China unless the $1 trillion trade deficit is fixed, which is crazy. It's not something that you can fix like this. So he's standing his ground, and it's very, very important. And today, for the first real time, I felt I'm scared. Like in this past 3-4 months. For the first time, I was like, fuck, like we can literally see a Black Monday today. on US Open. Like, we can literally see it happen. And I haven't experienced this in my professional life. So COVID crash was bad, but it was not as bad. 2008, I was too young. So I'm like, is this really happening? Like, are we really going to get a proper full-blown financial crisis unfolding in front of our eyes? And I was immediately thinking, okay, what am I going to tell the community? Like, what am I going to do with my own money? What are we going to do? And I told you I was out of the market, like 70% out of the market at like 94,000 or something like that. But still, I'm still thinking about, should I redeploy or not? And I'm going to give you what I actually decided to do in a second. But I want you to think about the fact, if you see me say this now, and you might be thinking, okay, Fefe, but if you're not sure and whatever, why do you think it's time buying? And I've seen these comments on my post as well, as like, why do you buy if you think this can go lower? Watch out. What are the comments here? Let's see. Lower leverage or spot, we're going to talk about. Do you have a stop loss at this point? Too early to buy. Like, you get all these. Fefe, I think you mean scalp longs. Let me see what else. You get the point. I think it's sarcasm. You get the point. You got the point. So it's very important to remember, if you study history, all of these situations get resolved one way or another. All of them. All of them. Let me bring you some. So if you look here, you got the 87, I wasn't even born, 87 financial crisis, the Black Monday that people say is going to happen today. I don't think it's going to happen, by the way, but I don't even care, because that's not the point. Nobody is a fortune teller. No one knows what the fuck is going to happen today. I will tell you that. Okay, so 87, crazy stock market crash. It's the worst in its history. $1.7 trillion loss. Now, obviously, back then, 87, that's like insane amount of money. But still, if you look at the stock market at that time, Dow Jones went down 36% in over what was it? It was a 20-day period, and then Nasdaq went down 27%, and then the S&P went down about 30%. But the reality is, if you zoom out, this was that crash. And I'm just gonna open it up so you see. This little thingy here, this little tiny dippy was the dip that was the largest financial crisis of our time. And it's crazy, because if you think about the fact that here the world was ending, people were suicidal, like a lot of bad things happened, just a drop in the ocean. But let me go forward. You say, okay, but that was a long time ago, internet, 2008 financial crisis was very, very rough. A lot of people remember much more about the 2008 financial crisis, and it was horrible. It was horrible. Hundreds of thousands lost their jobs. The economy collapsed. Like, it was horrible. Banks went bankrupt. If you look at this, the Dow Jones went down 54%. The Nasdaq went down 53%. The S&P went down 57%. But in reality, again, it was horrible. I'm not saying it wasn't. But in reality, if you look at it, this was the crash. This was the crash. This was the 2008 financial crisis on the S&P. Guess what? The S&P had a 800% rally since then. And yes, it took 15 years, but it went an 800% rally after those dumps. And let me bring you one more, which you might remember much more, COVID, okay? So when COVID hit, the markets basically, it was scary times. I remember, because I was actively trading, but COVID was crazy. Like, it was crazy bad. So if you look at it, 30% in a couple of days. It was like what? It was 20 days. Oh, yeah, about a month. S&P went down 30%. It was uncertainty. And the interesting part is that Bitcoin at that time was already an asset, that was already like an established asset during COVID. So if you look at this, Bitcoin went down, I think it was like 670. Holy shit, I remember it much better. Yeah, around in the middle, yeah, about 60%. 60%, from there, went from 10,000 all the way down to 3,800. Guess what happened from there? From the bottom, Bitcoin had 1,000% rally in the following 5 years. Okay, actually, it's in the following 1 year, to be honest with you, from 2020 to 2021. Why did that happen? Now, I'm gonna dive into why that happened and why it's worth buying now and looking at it and considering it. But I don't want to be the guy that comes here and tells you that, oh, it's all good. It's not, bro. I'm down bad. Everyone I know in the space who are very profitable traders, very good investors, they're down. They're about multiple 8 figures down, because this was not something that we could have predicted. The world is melting. And it's shit. Like, bro, it's shit. I know. Trust me. I'm not here to tell you, oh, Fefe is telling me because he would. No, bro. No. I'm down. I'm down bad. Even though I got out, I got too late. I got chopped up. I got the money that I left in, 30%, whatever that is, basically gone, vanished. It's bad. It's bad. But I also understand that even though it's tough out there, you have 4 or 5 of these opportunities in your lifetime. If you're lucky, maybe you get 2, maybe you get 3. And these are the times where generational wealth is made. Now, I'm not giving you any financial advice. I'm sharing you my thoughts. But I know for a fact that my only job right now is to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. Because in a 3 to 5 year time frame does not freaking matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you buy Bitcoin at 75,000 or 55,000 or 65,000. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you took advantage of this insane dip in the markets. Whether you buy the Nasdaq, whether you buy the S&P, whatever you buy. Not financial advice, but buy. One main reason why. Because of the money printer. If you look back here, this here, after the 2020 COVID crash, what happened was that the government started printing money. The Fed started printing like crazy. And because they started printing like crazy, there were 2 things that happened. One is there was uncertainty of they printed 25% of the entire US dollar supply during COVID. Okay, during that 2020, they printed 25%, about 25%, don't quote me on the exact number, but it's about 25% of the entire dollar in circulation. That's crazy that they devalued the currency 25% basically. So one thing when the printer starts and the Fed starts quantitative easing is that there is a real concern about currency debasement, and there's a real concern about the value of the currency that you hold. Therefore, people look for deflationary assets or store of values. One of these can be Bitcoin and is Bitcoin, as you have seen previously from 2020. The second is when money printing starts, that's very bullish for risk assets in general. If they're going to inject trillions of dollars back to the economy, we will see what they do with the tariffs, by the way, because there is discussions that says that they are going to just give it out as a check for whatever, depending on who earns how much money. They can just give it back to the people. But one thing is very, very important, that once the money printer starts, and it will start, it might start 6 months from now, a year from now, I don't care, but it will start. And when it starts, this thing gonna be forgotten in weeks. The bounce will be so fucking hard that it's going to melt faces. I promise you. The question is, can you survive? And the way that you don't survive is by trying to catch the bottom, taking too much risk, trying to make all the loss back that you had from this thing. And if you don't do any of these, you just accumulate and accumulate and accumulate and you accumulate proper projects, meaning Bitcoin. You can buy some Solana. You can buy some Hype. You can buy some AVAX. You can buy some of these tokens. You can buy some Link. But accumulate Bitcoin. This is the time. Do whatever it takes. And again, I'm not the guy to say, I'm not financial advice. No, what I say, do whatever you want. But what Michael Saylor said as well, if you have to, sell your fucking house. Sell your car. Sell everything. Buy Bitcoin. You will be very happy in the next 2 to 3 years. I promise you, as a person, again, want to be very careful in what I say. Nothing I say is financial advice. But this is what I genuinely, truly believe and do today. Okay, so that said, there are a bunch of things to look at for this week. One is, and I want to say it very clearly and loudly so everybody in the back hears it. No one knows what's going to happen, okay? No one. There is not one single person, maybe except Trump, but at this stage I don't even think he knows what's going to happen, that does know what's going to happen today. No one. So whoever tells you with 100% certainty, they're idiots. Don't listen to them. But we know some things that are certain going to happen this week. One is reciprocal tariff responses likely begin. So we already see that 50 countries reached out. Europe is, gearing up. China already announced the 30 whatever percent, 34%. So this is happening. We're going to see more and more of these this week. Then we're going to have the Fed minutes coming out from the FOMC. This is going to be very interesting to see where they see it. The reason why it's not going to be that relevant is because they couldn't see this coming. So I think the next one is going to be much more relevant, but for now it's not. That CPI inflation data going to be super important. Inflation seems to be dropping off of a cliff, which is very, very bullish. This is exactly what everybody wanted, so it should be good. Jobless claims going to be very interesting, especially after this 30% drop in the stock market. PPI inflation data going to be interesting, and consumer sentiment is going to be interesting as well. But it is going to be very, very, very volatile. Now, I want you to pay attention to a couple of things. One is, if you want to trade this, you can. I will tell you exactly how you can trade this. I'm not trading. I sit out. I don't trade. I'll be very honest with you. I predicted this perfectly. As I said, this is the trades that I'm giving you. These are the trades that I'm giving you. You know this. We trade. What am I showing? It's a little bit, yeah. So we're trading together and it's good. But I literally predicted this thing. Look at this here. I literally posted this here and I said, coming down slowly, we might put, no, it's here. I said, you never want to be on the stairs. Look at this. I drafted this. I said, we're going to come up here and then we're going to nuke from there. Guess what happened? We came exactly up there and I said, and everybody was bullish again. And I said, it's tough for me to say very short time. Literally the entire timeline on crypto is bullish, including people who I look up to when it comes to crypto. But can I go guess what I see? Dump before pump. Guess what happens? It comes down slowly and I'm like, we might pump, but I'm still keeping to this. And look what happened. Now here is the problem. The biggest problem. The biggest problem is that I could have taken this short and I could have just left it open. But I'm not perfect. And nobody is. And nobody knew that this was going to be that severe as it became. So anyway, the reason why I'm saying that is because I closed all my shorts and I tried to catch the bottom multiple times. Got wagged multiple times. And so I don't want to be the one catching the bottom. I'm not good at catching, nobody is actually, but I'm not good at catching the bottoms. So what I want to do, I want to make sure to see certain confirmations. So for a short time frame, I'll go down into the 1 hour charts. First of all, I just want to start on the weekly and tell you, we are at a massive, massive, massive demand zone. Bro, if we don't bounce here, it's over. And when I say here, if I go on the lower time frame, my biggest confirmation level, we should not break below the 2.18 trillion. If we break below the 2.18 trillion, this region here between 2.8 and 1.72 is the dead zone for me. If we go below 2.72, it's game over. It's game over meaning I will keep buying Bitcoin, but I think we're going into a massive, massive bear market. And that means maybe it will take a year and a half to reverse. I don't think it will happen. And if I don't think it will happen, then I don't think I should wait for another 20% drop that might happen if Bitcoin is already down 30% from the highs, 36% in fact. So if I look at this, ultimately main level, 2.18, we should hold that. Next level, 1.72. If we don't hold 1.72, we've got a problem, a massive freaking problem. What do I want to see? I want to see, number one, what you can do, and it worked actually, I was just too greedy again. But what you can do is every 15-minute long, 15-minute market structure shift. Here's going to be one at 2.42, comes in long, on a token, on Bitcoin, for example. Wait for 50, long. You can do that. I would not advise you to do it because it's just not good. But you can also might catch a scalp that turns into a massive swing trade. On the other hand, what I would recommend, not financial advice, is take a 1 hour market structure shift and trade that. Now here is tricky because if you look at the 1 hour, it's 2.48. The 1 hour is the 2.48 high. But technically, I would need to see a V-shaped recovery above the 2.65 to even confirm that anything is happening. So for me, the next time I'm going to take any trades is going to be if I see, we will see the scalps if everything settles and we're still in range or whatever. We'll talk about that. But you can start scalping. That will work. You have to be in front of the computer all the time. You have to catch the trades. But ultimately, what I want to see is a recovery above the 2.67 trillion. If that happens, that's a close below here. So that would be like this. That's a close below here. And I would be interested in taking positions here, 2.67, and down here at 2.55. And I would take them all the way up here. Why could that happen? Because on the 4 hour, we do have the retraces. But if you really look at it, on the daily, we did not have a 50% retrace. So I do see us having a rally into this OB up here, possibly anywhere between here, anywhere between the 3.2 and 3 trillion and 3.2 trillion, and still reject there and continue down. This could still happen. A lot of liquidations are going to happen if we start moving up. A lot of people are going to be taking profits up here. So if there is a massive bounce, it is going to be a sell event. But if we break above the 2.67 region, I am going to start looking for long positions. Guys, one thing I can tell you, this is the perfect time to use and take advantage of great deals that we can bring you. You do have massive opportunity, for example, with Bluefin for 2 reasons. One, you get all the benefits and bonuses and all that stuff. Check it out in the description. But most importantly, I made a deal with Bluefin that will allow you to get a consultation directly with me. Here's how it works. You sign up using the link in the description, and that's it. You simply trade, and if you trade $1 million in a month in trading volume, I will make a raffle and I will pick a couple of people who will have a 30-minute Zoom call with me directly talking about that trading. If you want to get a job or whatever you might want to be, 30 minutes is all yours, and I'm going to be all yours. I think it's an incredible deal. Bluefin talked me into it. I think it's great, and I think you should check it out. So if you want to trade anyway, there is a non-KYC exchange that's available worldwide. You don't need VPN, not even in the United States. You can do it. Use the link in the description. And as an upside bonus, you do get the opportunity to have a call with me. Now, all this said, I want to tell you one more thing. And that is that we just now are dropping a new vlog episode. So I have a vlog, it's called the $1 Billion Hustle, and I document my journey. You know, I started from like nothing last year, 1,500 followers, no views, whatever. And now we're getting into somewhere where I really change people's life by doing trades like what we just had here. Let me just go here. Where was it? Well, just like this. And if you go scroll over here, you will see that other people are taking the exact same trades as me as well. But that's not the point. The point is that we do have a vlog. I do have a vlog, a weekly vlog, and now it is dropping. So we are dropping the episode. We're trying out something new, which is something completely different. You can go here. You can search for the $1 Billion Hustle, but you can also just go down the description and it says subscribe to Fefe's vlog. And this is the vlog that we're dropping. Literally, I think it's going to be like in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes from now, we're dropping this. So go and check that out.
What I see in my head, this can go viral. I ordered Ray-Ban. This is insane. So just had a call with Michael Fefe. Like, it's a legend. He's going hard. Look what he said. You look back at 5 years from now.
About this thing.
At that time, this was going to be something.
Anyway, guys, this is premiering now. If you want to check this out, I would truly appreciate it. I will be there on the live chat as well. I might do some giveaways. We'll see what happens. But go and check it out. Again, there's a link in the description. You can find it on my X profile as well, or you can just search $1 Billion Hustle. Guys, I truly appreciate you being here. Sorry for the setup and, not being here live. But if you appreciate this, again, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to come back every single day. And just stay safe out there. Stay safe out there. Check out these 2 videos. Click to subscribe. And I believe I'll see you in the next one. Take care.